Yes, excess love. Hello, everyone. Welcome to GTS Fam Talk Show. This is another session of pandemic relationship coaching. I am your host, Dr.Femi Ogunjinmi, a global relationship expert who has been improving the lives of singles and couples for over 11 years. With my impactful relationship messages, I have helped over 3 million people globally. I am the recipient of Global Relationship Expert of the Year Award by World Civility Day and I Change Nations. I have appeared on top media platforms to include TEDx, The Word Network, USA Today Magazine, and so many more. I am a seasoned author. My series books, Revelations of Relationship, and the latest one, How to Tell If Someone Truly Loves You, are available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Recently this year, my name was inducted into the Book of World Greatness and also became a United Nations representative. Today, we are going to be having an important dialogue on fatherhood. Father's Day is this coming Sunday. Ladies, hope you got something planned for your man. All right, in addition to this discussion, we are going to speak on the subject, relationship equity. Many homes are struggling with power, both husband and wife, which is leading to divorce, unnecessary arguments, fights, financial discrepancy, abuse relating to rape, domestic violence, and verbal. It is important to have this dialogue and to help save marriages and restore peace. I believe couples can achieve relationship equity where they become power couple, strike power balance, maximize their family unit, not become inferior to one another, and raise their children with love and the right values. My guest today is one and only, the #1 relationship coach out of the great land of Kenya. He's a preacher, he's a teacher, he's a fashion consultant, he's an MC, he's an entrepreneur. You can call this man a Renaissance man. He is everything and a bag of chips. Please welcome Coach Burale. What's going on?
Hey, my brother, how you doing? Good to see you, man.
Hey, likewise. It's been a minute that we've been trying to get together and have you on
Yeah,
the platform. So I'm so glad that we're finally making this thing happen.
fantastic.
How is Kenya? How are my people over there?
Kenya's fine. Everybody's okay. We're trying to keep safe and just taking it a day at a time, but we're all okay. Smiling as always, optimistic as always.
Awesome. Yeah, that's all
Right.
we can hope for. Be optimistic and
Fantastic.
hoping for God to intervene and help us with this pandemic.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I see that you mentioned Bukalalire. You mentioned that
You
in
said it
your
well.
post a lot. Am I saying it right?
Yes, you're 90% there. It's Buha. Ha. Buha Lalire.
Buha Lalire. Buha
That's it,
Lalire.
man. That's it.
Buha Lalire. So you mentioned this a lot in your post. Is this a town in Kenya?
Yes, that's where I come from, the village, my village area. It's in the western side of Kenya.
Ah, the interesting thing is I was Googling it. And this is how you know that you are big. When I was
Yes.
Googling this Buha Larire, your
Yes.
name was coming up. Like your name was top of the search engine. I'm
Are
telling
you
you.
serious?
I'm telling you. Like you can try that. Just type Buha Larire and you will see like
Yeah.
the first two posts. You will see your picture. You will see your information on it.
Wow, fantastic. Wow. Amazing. Amazing.
That means you are big.
Man, by the grace of God.
By the grace of God. Now, Father's
Yes.
Day
Yes.
is on Sunday. What do you have
Uh-huh.
going on?
I don't know. I hope somebody somewhere has plans for me. I don't know. You know? You know what I'm saying? No, I'm okay. Of course, I intend to spend some time with my daughter, of
Mhm.
course, and just take it easy, really.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you, God, for all these years.
Yeah, God has been amazing. He's been good to you.
Yeah,
I can see it.
absolutely.
I can see it. He's been good to you.
Yeah,
How old
yeah.
is your daughter?
She's 15 now. She's 15, and these kids grow from man. They grow very fast. The other day, I was holding her as a 2, 3 year old baby. Today, she's 15,
My,
discussing with me as if we were age mates. Let me tell you something. Today, this happened today. She's at her mother's house,
uh-huh.
and she sent me a text. I was planning to take it easy, and then she just sent me a text and says, "Dad," I said, "Yes, I need a burger," and that's it. And I'm like, "Okay. So what do you want me to do?" He says, "Do what you have to do. Get a burger to me." And you know what? I had to stop everything. I got up, showered, went and took a burger to her. You
My
know,
goodness.
the joy of fatherhood.
The joy of fatherhood. Wow.
Yeah.
How has that changed you over the years? I mean, did you see any changes from when your daughter was 2, 3, 5, and now she's 15 years old? I know you mentioned earlier that now you can have an adult conversation to some extent.
Yes.
But how
Yes.
has that changed you as a man?
Wow. The realization of responsibility that there is somebody else depending on you, and your actions will affect somebody who is close to your heart. So the mantle of deep responsibility is illuminated, and it has just made me be selfless to think about somebody else as well. You understand? Um, because she's my blood, she's my seed. You understand? So that selflessness and the honor of just God giving me the opportunity to take care of another human being on behalf of God. You understand? So it's opened my eyes to the future, the now, and what you do now will affect the future, and it will not just affect you, but somebody who's depending on you. She's 15. She's not yet an adult. She's not yet 18. So the responsibility, I worry for her, I pray for her. I mean, who will tell me I need a burger and I just drop everything? I
Mm.
dropped everything and I rushed to take to her, and she was doing online classes, and I sat with her for a bit and then I left. And just that, it's just an amazing thing that, and she's very strong-minded. She's very strong character. So the fact that we can just sit and the other day she came to my room over the weekend. She was at my place, and she sat and lectured me for about 15 minutes.
About
I'm
what?
like, I'm like, how old are you again? 15 going to 50 or something. You know, there's something she didn't like that I was doing. And she told me, Dad, no, I don't like it that way. Do it this way. And I'm like, okay. And by the way, she had a lot of sense in what she was saying.
My goodness. My goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I see a lot of activities between you and her that you guys do a lot
Yes.
of singing together. What
Yeah.
features or what characters do you see in her that kind of similar to you? What kind of trait?
Oh my goodness. She's very outgoing. She's a strong character. She's a sanguine, you know, and she is she's a big risk taker, just like me, you know. The truth of the matter, her mother is calculated. She plans and looks and, you know, does this and that. For me, sometimes I just flow, and I'm seeing that in her. And very confident girl. She, I think, I believe by the grace of God, she will be an extremely great woman in her generation.
Amen.
I believe she will impact lives the way she's going. And the one thing about her, she has a heart for the voiceless. It can make her cry when she sees somebody suffering. So I like that about her. And yeah, we are just same character. I'm loud, she's loud. Because I know that's from me, because her mother is not loud.
Does that kind of create a tug of war between you and her? Because you can see yourself in her, and sometimes that is mind blowing and mind bugging at the same time. It's like you're
Yeah.
an identical person in somebody else.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sometimes it's crazy because sometimes there's something I don't like she has done. You know, she does something and I realize, hang on a minute, I'm trying to display me in her because I'm
Right.
like, that is me. You know, that is me. So I mean, it makes me look at myself like, oh, so that was me. Was I annoying people like that? You know, when I don't like something. And yes, and the fact that we're very strong. You know, she stands her ground. She can tell me, Dad, no, I don't agree with you. This is it, A, B, C, D. I said, no, Lexi. No, he says, no, Dad, I have a point. You're going to listen to me. Dad, I did not interrupt you, so don't interrupt me. I'm like, okay, sorry, Madam President. You know?
My goodness, she's
Yeah,
running everything.
yes.
And you were saying earlier about the sense of responsibility that you have to have and the ownership and the accountability, knowing that someone is looking up to you, knowing that you are responsible for someone's life. And whatever you do right now, your actions would dictate what the result is going to be down the
Yeah,
line for her. Do
yeah,
you, will you say to men that are listening now that that is the same mindset they should have as being a father in the house? That you got to have this notion that whatever I do right now can trickle down to the lives of my children. For an example, if I were to cheat on my partner, it's going to have a ripple effect on these children. So even though I'm getting the satisfaction, it can affect my children down the line. If I'm yelling at my partner, it can also affect how the children see what a model of relationship is supposed to be, how a man should handle relationship. That, oh, you know, if my father is yelling, then it's okay when I get married that a man can yell at me. Or if I see my dad
yeah,
laying hands on my mom, then it might be okay
yeah,
for my husband
yeah,
that I get married to do the same thing.
yeah. Yes, absolutely. Any man who who has children, you know, and you're called a father, your responsibility is for their future. And it's non-verbal communication and verbal communication, just as you've said. And some men, not many, we have some men who are still boys anyway in their mind, who think responsibility is paying the school fees and buying the clothes and buying the pizza and the birthday cake. That is not bad because it all encompasses in responsibility, but it is inculcating the right values, how they see you carrying yourself. Like, for example, the truth of the matter, my brother, is sometimes I would be around my daughter and her mother, and how I treat her mother when maybe I drop Lexi home will have far-reaching repercussions. There must be respect. There must be absolute respect, so that my daughter knows, oh, it is okay. It's respect is key, so that even for her, when she gets to that age where she will get married, she will know she deserves respect and not just settling for any mediocre kind of treatment. And how I also handle people around me, people who work for me and with me. You know, the other day I was telling her about my company. We were just talking in that bedroom conversation. She came to my bedroom, and she was sitting on my bed, and I said, you know, Lexi, you know, my company is going to be yours, you know. So she looked at me and says, Dad, on one condition, the books are in order. I'm not going to collect a company that is in debt, you know, make sure there are millions in that account. I'm like, okay, you know, so my actions now will have far-reaching repercussions, because the truth of the matter, she will be the chair lady of the board or the CEO. You understand? It's her company.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's very interesting that men should understand that our actions have far-reaching repercussions, either positive or negative, in both verbal and non-verbal communication.
Wow. So definitely we should be looking at fatherhood, not just about the financial responsibility, but what behavior are you eliciting and what values are you passing down to your children. I watched an interview between TD Jakes and what's the name of this guy now? It's even my birthday mate. His name just Steve Harvey. So Steve Harvey was asking TD Jakes a series of questions, and TD Jakes said, "It's not about what I leave for my children that matters; it's what I leave inside of them."
Absolutely.
So it's not really about the money. It's not about businesses and company, but what value am I
value system
depositing inside my children? Because that value, not that living riches and money and businesses are not important, but if we were to compare that as value, the value we allow them to actually manage all your money, all your assets. Right? So that is the the thinking and the logic about this, that men should not just look at, oh, I'm a man just about how much I make. I'm a man just because I'm putting roof over your head. I'm a man just because I can go to work, or I'm running my business and I'm bringing home the bacon, and then you have money to, buy all the food and buy the children clothes. And they're not even spending time with the children. They're not even spending time with their partner. They're not even helping the children with schoolwork or having dialogue about life and crises, challenges that the children are going to face in life. So what kind of values are you depositing to help your children to overcome their own personal challenges that they're going to face?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's quite important. And your quote, I read your quote one time that says that there's a difference between male and man. That a man assumes responsibility, will make a decision to be man on a daily basis.
Absolutely, on a daily basis. Every day, we decide to be men. Male is a biological happenstance, okay? That is why I say there's female, there's male, based on our sexual organs, the anatomy. You're male or female. But being a man is a decision of every waking moment, both on our actions, taking our responsibilities, accepting our mistakes, embracing our strengths, and going full force ahead, knowing very well that there are many behind us waiting for us to make the right decisions, for them to have a clear path. And also, as you say, inculcating the right values, whereby if our children face challenges, they will face challenges, by the way. They will face challenges. When they face challenges, they'll remember, my father told me that this is how I should handle. Or even if he didn't tell me, I saw that when he faced a challenge, he would go to his corner and cry to God. And then after prayer, he will go and try and do things the right way so that everything comes okay. So some things we speak, some of the loudest things we tell our children is in absolute silence, but in the manifestation of our actions. So you get, if, for example, think with me for a minute, that one day I wake up and start abusing her mother, what am I inculcating? I'm not abusing my daughter, but there's something being stored in her hard drive. You understand? And that will manifest later when I'm much old. And I wonder, why are you going through this? Why are you abusing? Why is it not happening? Your social skills are poor. And then you remember, hang on a minute, I played a major role in her being like this. So the other side of the coin is true. If we have the right kind of behavior, communication, verbally and non-verbally, in later in life, we shall see the fruits of what we inculcated in them based on the value system.
The trauma that we face today is oftentimes related to how we grew up, the environment we grew up, what we saw firsthand, that just went into our subconsciousness, and the way we act, the way we behave, the way we react in relationship to our partner is often a reflection on how we're developed and the value system that we saw firsthand.
Yes.
I just want to give a quick shout out to those that are watching us on Facebook. Thank you for joining us. And as you are joining this conversation, do us a favor, just share, click the share button so that we can reach more people, we can touch more lives, and more people can benefit from this awesome dialogue that we are having. And those that are joining us on Instagram, I appreciate you. Let people know about the conversation that we are having. So, Coach Burale.
Yes.
People that are following you probably understand that you're not married, that you've been divorced. Now, and the interesting thing that I see about you is that you are still very much involved in the life of your daughter. Now, you have some fathers who, unfortunately, they are not, they've been divorced as well, but they are not involved in their children's life anymore. It's all about their lives. It's all about themselves. What word of advice can you give them as we are preparing to go into Father's Day on Sunday? I mean, few days. What can they do? What amends can they start making right now?
Mm-hmm. Wow. The first thing I would tell a man, it doesn't matter how much you're earning. You may be earning a 6-figure salary, live in a mansion, wear the best suits, have the best watch and all that, and go to the best restaurants. But if you are not taking care of your children or your child, you're the poorest of them all. It is time. It is time to make amends. And some may not even have the money, and they feel a bit worried that I don't have any money to buy toys when I see my child or my children. But let me tell you, if you ask these children, they would be honest and tell you, I don't want your money. I want you, your presence more in my life. So let's stop being selfish, because what you're doing now, if you do not make amends, it will bite you later in life and maybe in your old age when you see the pain of your children not being able to handle social relationships well because of what has been inculcated in them, the rejection. When you don't hang around your children or you're not around your children's life, you are giving them the spirit of rejection is coming upon them. So ask them, it's not too late to make amends. And you see, like if you have a father to a son, the standard measure of manhood is through their father. If you're a son, if you're a father to a daughter, the standard measure of a man is first seen through the father. You understand? That is why if a father is sleeping around and the daughter is seeing that and senses that the man is sleeping around, that is what she will expect a man to do to her. And if a man is sleeping around, like, it's okay. I got this for my father. I think this is okay. So please, let's get back and make amends. Let's reconcile and let's raise a beautiful generation.
Absolutely. Let's talk about relationship equity in marriage. Relationship equity in marriage. Many relationships are faced with power struggle between the man and the woman. One of the complaints of women is that men want to dominate the relationship, control their wives. They don't want to strike the power balance. And it's because men don't see their wives as equal. Now, are wives equal to husbands?
Yes, my brother, doctor, I said this one time on national television, and I was almost killed by men in this country. My goodness.
Really?
I think, my goodness.
They don't believe in that notion.
Do you know the Bible? There's a place the Bible clearly says, submit one to another.
Yeah. Right.
In the Bible.
Yeah.
But
That's in the
people
book
seem
of
to ignore
Ephesians 5,
Ephesians.
chapter 5,
Yes.
verse 20. Right?
It says, submit one to another. You understand? None is bigger than the other. This is my notion. And I'm telling you, there was a wildfire. I think I had 4,000 comments of being told, shut up and sit down, go and look for a wife first.
My God.
And the thing is this, this is it. They said the man is the head, all right?
Right.
Well, the head has the eyes showing where we'll go as a family, has the mouth prophesying to where you want the family to go, and then the ears to hear what the Lord is saying, that this is the direction. That is fine. You can call yourself the head, and that is fine. But the wife is the neck. The wife is the one that turns the head. So you cannot say one can work without the other. You understand? So we this thing of saying, oh, no, you shut up and sit down. I'm not a believer of that. When the Bible says submit one to another, doctor, I don't think I'm very poor in my grammar. I understand what that means. Submit one to another. The thing is, people have different responsibilities. Some are more visible, some are some are private. It doesn't mean that the ones that are visible are more important than the private ones. You understand? Let me tell you, sometimes when you hear a president somewhere giving a presidential decree, the power, maybe that decree, that idea was given to him by the wife in the bedroom.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? So the man is the head, all right? And submit to the headship of the man, but also the man to submit to the grace that the woman carries.
Yes.
Why am I saying that? He that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtaineth favor.
Right.
Now, when you marry, and not a woman, it says a wife, because getting a woman is easy because it is a matter of a sexual organ. Woman, but getting a wife is something different. So a man enjoys favor that comes from marrying a wife. So imagine when you get favor and then you use the favor to put down the very wife who has brought favor based on the word of God. And to the ladies as well. To the ladies as well, do not just submit to a man because he has financial elasticity. No, as long as a man is in his place of dominion and calling, finances will come. So do not call off the man useless because he does not have a job and you are comparing him to your pastor or you are comparing him to your boss. You submit also to your own husband. The Bible is clear. It does not say submit to your husband who has $1 million in his account.
Oh,
okay?
Say that again.
It
Say that
doesn't say
again.
that. But the problem is we get into competition where men say, but my woman does not respect me, so too bad. And women say, my man does not love me, so I will not submit. The Bible is clear. As we are told to submit, you are submitting unto the Lord. Yes, I am not getting what I want from the other side, but I will still submit unto the Lord. And God, who is all seeing, will touch the other party to bring them back in line. But as long as you are doing it unto the Lord. But let me tell you, doctor, there is too much competition. When a husband and a wife are in competition, you can bet your bottom dollar they are both holding the door to the way to the divorce courtroom. You understand? So I want to tell the men, when you are told submit one to another, it does not make you weak. Actually, the strongest man or the strongest woman is the one who submits to the word of the Lord. Yes.
My goodness, man, you shared a loaded information on this, speaking to both sex, to both gender, both men and women. It's interesting where, you spoke about husband and wife submitting to one another. And what I found out is people actually take one part of the Bible and they don't read the Bible in context and they don't read other passages in the Bible. So most people, and most men especially, will say, wives, submit to your husband. Now, they are reading Ephesians chapter 5, verse 21, but they did not read the verse that came before that, which is submit to one another as a respect to God. So it's quite important that we're not just looking at one scripture, but we are reading the entire scripture. We are reading the entire context. We are reading what comes before it. We are reading what comes after it. That's one. Two, I think what can also help men to understand this ideology of relationship equity and to really love the woman and understand the grace women carry, that our wives carry. Bible says, told Adam, I will create you an helpmate. That means, oh my goodness, that is the exact name the Bible actually calls a Holy Spirit, helper. So Bible is saying that your wife is synonymous to Holy Spirit, to an helper. And what does an helper do? What does Holy Spirit? Holy Spirit does a lot of things, but one major thing that Holy Spirit does, it says the Spirit will lead you to the truth. Now, you said, coach, that the neck, which is our woman, they turn you. That means they are the Holy Spirit that lead you to the truth. The neck turns you to the right way. You spoke about a president giving speech or giving some kind of demand, not knowing that sometimes that idea came from the woman in the bedroom. So men do not understand the power, the grace that the wives carry. And for those reasons, they don't want to listen. And because we've been bamboozled and we've been told by culture or by tradition that the man run everything. And we're also looking at, a man runs everything because of how much he makes. That does not determine the respect you give to a man. Bible says you respect a man not because of how much money he brings, not because he makes millions. Just like you said, you respect him based on his position as a protector and his accountability to God. It has nothing to do with how much money he's making, he's earning. And guess what? He's earning 1 million today. He may not earn 1 million tomorrow. He may lose the job. He may lose the business. Then what happens after that? Are you going to lose respect for him? See, that is where the problem comes in. Because we've been told wrongly. We've been told wrongly. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. I know somebody may be screaming and saying, but the Bible says in Ephesians 5:22, and allow me to read, my brother, where the Bible says, wives, submit to your own husband as the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, as also Christ is the head of the church. Now, many just leave it at as the husband is the head of the wife, but they don't go further and say, as also Christ is the head of the church. So the model of the headship of a man over his wife should be like Christ over his church, where Christ also says in the word, come, let us reason together, not lord over you. You understand? And then listen, for as he is the savior of the body, therefore, just as Christ is the subject of the Christ, let also wives be to their own husband in everything. The problem also is some ladies submit to their bosses because their boss has power, has financial abundance, and then the husband who has nothing at home, you do not submit. You understand? The Bible does not say submit based on the suit he wears. It's if you get a man submitted unto the Lord. Let's also be very clear. This is in the parameters of doing things unto the Lord. Okay? That is why, before you go to this one, says, therefore do not be unwise, but understand that the will of the Lord is, and do not be drunk with wine, in which is dissipation, but be filled with the Spirit, speaking to one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melodies in your heart, giving thanks always for all things to God the Father in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, submitting to one another in the fear of God. Then it comes to say, now wives, submit. Before that, it was saying how we need to carry ourselves. And then after you understand that, then you come into submission, into headship, into love. But let's not forget what it says from 17.
My goodness. This is interesting teaching. I was just reading a comment on Facebook that somebody said, Rose Marquis, I feel like my Bible is new. Never touched it. We are given some new revelation right here. New revelation right here. Yes, now, it's important that I give this scripture out to people. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 11 through 12. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 11 through 12, which says that in the Lord, a woman is not independent of a man, nor a man independent of a woman. For a woman is created out of a man, and a man is born out of a woman, for they are both created by God. Did you catch that? In the Lord. It's saying that in the eyes of the Lord, both men and women are equal, and two, they depend on each other. So that means they are having this interdependent relationship. So you cannot feel like I'm the boss, you are my slave, everything that I do goes, everything that I say is my way or the highway. And then you brought out something that is so important that when you read that scripture, Ephesians 5 verse 22, and it reads on that, wives submit to your husband as Christ is the head of the church. So that means if a man wants to know how to lead, he has to lead according to the way Jesus led. And the way Jesus is also still leading the church. But how? So this is very interesting. The leadership style of Jesus that we men need to follow is a servant leadership. It's not a dictatorship. It's not that I rule everything. It's a servant leadership. Interesting thing happens in the scripture. When Jesus told his disciples, he says, the way the ruler rules everything in this world, that's not the way I want you to run things. He says, whoever wants to become a leader among you must serve everyone. Whoever wants to become a leader among you must serve everyone. So that means if we see ourselves, we men see ourselves as a leader, that means it's telling us we must serve our wives. And Jesus now went on to say, just as I came to serve and not to be served. The question is, how many men are serving their women? How many men are actually meeting the needs? Serving doesn't mean literally, I'm going to the kitchen, I'm going to go get your food, I'm going to serve you, food on the table. I mean, that's not the literal meaning of that, really. I mean, you can imply it to be that. That can be part of your example. But how are you meeting the needs of your partner? Bible also talks about responsibility, that we are responsible for our wives as men. But what does that really mean, being responsible or being the leader of that home? Does that mean I run everything? Okay, I want you guys to think about this. If you were responsible for yourself, if you were accountable for yourself, what does that really mean? That means that you listen to your needs, you listen to what you are looking for, you meet your emotions, you are serving yourself. Now, if you understand that clearly, that if you are responsible for yourself, that is what it means. And now, Bible is saying that you are responsible for your partner. What does that really mean? Does that mean that I need to now listen to what my wife says? I need to hear our opinion out? I need to listen to our advice and our ideas? Can I actually make sure that I am meeting our own needs as well? So we have to understand the meaning of saying that you are a leader in the family. It's also as synonymous to saying we are looking at a company, at an organization. In that organization, there is always a project lead or a project manager.
Yes.
Now, when a project manager leads and he makes decisions, he does not make decisions in isolation of the other people that he's working with. So just like you will look at a man as a project lead or as a leader of that home, but when he makes decision, it consults everyone in that house. It consults every partner in that house because it makes what is called an informed decision. And when things happen, things don't go well, it doesn't say, oh, it is my wife that gave me that idea that didn't work out. No, because then that is lack of accountability. And that's probably what Adam did in the Bible when Jesus said, what happened to you, Adam? You know, you've disobeyed me. And he said, it's the woman that you gave me. That is lack of accountability. But it is important that we work in harmony towards achieving the same thing. What do you want to say together?
Now, watch this, so that we just, this is a very dicey topic and many people fight with this topic as well. Mm-hmm. Ephesians 5:28. So husbands ought to love their own wives as their own bodies. I'm heading somewhere this. He who loves his wife loves himself. For no one has ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it, just as the Lord does the church. To cherish that wife, to nourish her with words, with actions, all right? For we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones. But it says about leaving your father and your mother, but now watch this. So love his own wife as himself. Let the wife see that she respects her husband. Understand? Respect does not mean fear. Respect does not mean fear. That's something different. And it's very clear that if you as a woman, you are out there respecting all other men and not respecting your own husband, you are not doing it unto the Lord. So what you are doing out there will come to naught. You understand? But now, this is where people say this, and I'm sure you've had this in your counseling sessions and maybe in your many talks, where you get a lady saying, I cannot submit to him, he doesn't deserve it. And then you hear a man say, I will not love her because she doesn't respect me. And the Bible saw that come, and that's why the Bible is clear. You are not doing it unto man per se, you are doing it unto the Lord. So that when you do it unto the Lord, he comes and engulfs your situation and smoothens things. But the problem is, we are in competition. For me to love you, you must respect me. If you don't respect me, I will not submit. If you don't love me, I will not submit to you. And that is why the busiest courtrooms in the world right now are divorce courts.
Yes.
And counselors.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. You are spot on that. We have fear in the relationship, and we've defined respect and equate that to money, to the power, to somebody having some kind of business or holding a title in the workspace. That's what we've equated to respect, and that is not the way it's supposed to be. And then we are also looking at, we're having this competition, and there is no rest in the home, because we can see also husband and wife actually fighting for the same salary. Oh, I got to make the same amount of money that you are making, or I have to make more. Oh, if I don't make more, then I won't earn the respect of this woman. Or if I don't make more as my husband, then he will not respect me. And we are seeing that going back and forth in the relationship that is creating insecurity. It's creating insecurity. You are not secured in how much you are making. And you are thinking how much you make will determine how much respect you get from your wife or your husband. That is wrong, fundamentally wrong. And that is what is sending you out, working 9 to 5, even working 3, 4, 5, 10 jobs. Just because you are thinking that I got to make this money, and when I make this money, this woman is going to respect me, or vice versa. And then you are neglecting other responsibilities of taking care of the children or having intimate time together. So your sexual life is suffering, your communication life is suffering, your spiritual life is suffering. You guys cannot even plan and work together to build something for the family. So when you start to get into this relationship inequity, and then the competition starts to come in, and the fear starts to come in, and you don't understand the definition of respecting one another, then you will get to the point whereby you are losing other values that are important. As a matter of fact, you are not even building anything together. Instead of complementing each other, you are competing. And whereas you should be complementing one another. I want to share this definition to people, and I want people to understand this. There's a difference between relationship equity and relationship equality. It's a difference between relationship equity and relationship equality. They are similar, but they are slightly different. Relationship equality says that we are both equal, husband and wife. We have the same equal right, access to the same opportunities, to the resources, to the benefits, to the participation. Now, just because we have the same equal chances does not mean we have equal outcomes. I want us to understand this. Does not mean we have equal outcome. It does not mean that we get to do the same thing in the relationship. Now, this is where relationship equity means, because it is taking relationship equality one step further, which means that relationship equity is allowing fairness in the relationship. It is treating each other the way you would like to be treated. It's acknowledging your differences and determining what you get to do based on your skill set, your experiences, your constraints, your aspirations, your core gift, and not your gender. That is relationship equity. And that is what we are speaking on today, that relationship equity encompasses relationship equality, but at the same time, it doesn't mean we get to do the same thing. So as a man, yes, I'm the head of the house, but as a woman, she also has that equal power that you have in making decisions, in running everything that relates to the to the children and to the affairs of the home. And you cannot say because I am making money and she's not making money, then we don't have the same equal power. No. Because she's bringing her own gift. She's bringing her own skill set where it is applicable. Like if you were to think about, we have to look at this. This is partnership. You are both co-founder of that relationship.
Yes, sir.
A practical way to look at this, a pragmatic way to look at it is think about this. You and your friend, you guys come together and say, we're going to form a company, an IT company, for an example, an information technology company, for example. You as a person, you have skill set in technology. You understand the back end of the technology, how the technology works. You know how to, develop codes. You know how to integrate so many things. But then you don't have the business aspect of it. You don't know how to communicate. You don't know how to get customers and clients. But your partner has that idea, has that experience, has that skill set. And you guys come together to work because now you both have something, you both have equity in your own right. But because your partner who has business sense or who has business acumen and can talk the talk and walk the walk, that doesn't mean that he has more power than you. No, you have your own skill set. And as long as you understand and you respect each other's skill set and the constraints behind it, then we must know that we need to make decisions hand in hand. That person with a business understanding cannot make a decision in your absence. Still got to make decisions in consulting with you and also respecting your value and respecting your skill set. So if we are able to look at it, that we are co-founders and we are both partners and we cannot both do the same thing. And what you do does not mean that you have more power than me. And what I do, maybe I'm just staying home and just chilling and taking care of the kids, or, as back in the days, what we saw with our mothers, all those baby boomers, the woman stayed home, the wife stayed home. Well,
absolutely.
The husband was just out there and working and slaving himself and bringing home the bacon. But because of that financial power, that economic power for the men, made the men to control the wives and say, look, when I come home, my food got to be ready. Oh, when I come home, when I tell you I want to meet you in the other room, oh, you better be ready when I meet you in the other room. Okay? It even got worse to the point that even when they are having dialogue, did you know back in the days, it's crazy, especially in African culture, that when issue occurs in the house, let's say the issue that occurs between the husband and wife, it might be minor, but the husband gets mad and the husband is actually at fault. And this issue escalates to the point where the husband sends the wife outside the home. And guess what happens? The wife goes to to her parents' house and say, "Oh, my husband has sent me out." Guess what the parents do? The parents say, "Oh, you got to go back to your husband's house." And guess what they do next? They actually go to the husband and say, "We are sorry, oh, our daughter does not know what she's doing. Oh, we need her to come back home to you." But if we were to look at the situation, the husband is wrong in the issue. But the society, the tradition is actually in support of the husband and not the wife. And that is what we've gone through back in the days, that so much abuse was happening towards our mothers, towards our women. They didn't have that much power. But now, in this generation of the millennials and the generation of Gen X, you don't see this thing, because now both husband and wife, they are working. They both have the same power. But that is now creating problem in the point that the men are seeing the financial aspect as equate that to power. And now the wife is making the same amount of money you're making, or even making more. So it's like, what power do I have now? And because you don't see that you have power now, guess what our men do? He looks in himself and he says, "Oh, I have strength. I can actually fight this woman. I can actually slap her." That is where now domestic violence,
my power,
is coming in, because of my power. I have power over you because you don't see the person as having equal power as you. Hey, my goodness.
And you see, I think why these things are happening is because, a good marriage is we are in it together. It should be we are on one side and two against the world. But the problem is we are entering into marriage as a place of competition. And by the way, it starts even before marriage, especially in this generation, where in the days of old, people would ask, which family does he or she come from, to find out about the values in that family. Values. But in this generation, they will ask you, what kind of, what level of wealth is she from? Is she from a rich family? Is he from a rich family? So it's about finances, you understand? Not value system.
Yeah.
That is why there is too much competition in having grandiose weddings and dilute marriages. You get what I'm saying? So now when we get into that place, you say, I brought this. In fact, there is a nonsensical thing that has happened where, yes, there's dowry payment, and I'm not going against dowry payment, but some people use that to enrich themselves. All of a sudden, when somebody's coming to pay dowry, all the aunties who are never in communication with you for the last 5 years appear. And they say, you know what? I used to take her to school. I'm the one who used to wipe her mucus. So you need to give me some money. So what happens? The man feels like he has bought a commodity. All right? So the woman comes in not as a helper, but somebody who was picked at a shelf and was taken to the counter, and money was exchanged hands. So as long as I have paid for you, then I will treat you as a commodity. All right? So we need the value system is messed up, where it's about finances, and there's nothing wrong with that, of course, because you also want security. Right. You want to be, we all want to be secure, but we can't enter into marriages because of wealth. Now, when a man comes in and it's grandiose, and when I came to pay dowry, I came with 50,000 people, and then, it was this big and that and this, and it was all over, and the social media were praising and all that. And then what happens? If something happens and your finances go down, you will feel the power in which you had when you went to pick this commodity has now been taken away from you. Now you will start looking for something else to replace that power. And if you are not submitted to the Lordship of God, what you will do to replace that power will not be godly. That's where you say it is domestic violence, or you find now the man stepping out of the marriage to go look for somebody who will accept him in his level where he has no money, because he went into the marriage with his wife with Grandiose. It was about finances. It was about power. Now it's not there. You are even scared to go see your in-laws, because now the in-laws saw you going there with a helicopter. You now don't have that. And then the woman as well, if you got attracted to the man because of his finances, when it's taken away, because the main thing was the finances, you will now start looking left and right for somebody else who can show financial power. And by the way, there is a man out there who will also always have more money. So you'll start going, looking at your boss as a powerful man, looking at a neighbor who has money, and then you start stepping out. What I would say is, finances are important, wealth is good, but let it be on the foundation of the value system. On the value system. That is why you see, there's a couple I talk to once every 2 weeks. They have been married 51 years. And why? I asked them, why is your marriage strong? You know, I mean, you have your issues like any other marriage. And the man says it's because when we met, what attracted us is our value system. And the man says, she connected to my vision. You understand? And the woman said, I knew if I submit under this man, we will go somewhere. They showed me a photo. I went to their house for 4 o'clock this time. They showed me a photo of how they started. Let me tell you, they had nothing but a prayer for them. They had no money. Today, they're one of the most powerful, richest couple. They have employed over thousands and thousands of people. But what brought them together? The value system. So the man says, why would I leave this woman? Yet she knew me when I had nothing. All I had was a vision. She connected to it. And I had my responsibility, because I've taken somebody else's daughter, to make sure I go from glory to glory, ladder up to ladder up, because this woman has believed in my vision. So she must get some returns. And some returns is a very comfortable, respectful life.
My goodness. Value system. That is very, very important. Well put. And having vision is expected of not just the man, even the woman as well. What vision do you have for this family? What vision do you have for yourself? What vision do you have for your children? How can we both amicably settle disputes that may even be happening between us, and not looking at we're having a tug of war? You see, a client wrote to me and says, oftentimes I have what I characterize as silly arguments and unnecessary fights with my wife based on my perception that her quest for equality is uncalled for or shouldn't be within the confines of the marriage. Put simply, we fight about this a lot, and she mostly links it or compares it with whether or not I love her. With whether or not I love her. Let me share another interesting story that happened to me about a few weeks ago. I was on the phone with an African American lady who was trying to sell me a service. And at the end of the call, she wanted me to make a decision. And I told her that I'm going to have to talk to my wife to come together and decide on what we're going to do. 1 second, folks on Facebook. The folks are listening on Instagram. I only have about 15 seconds to round up. So join me back on Instagram. Let me do this real quick. I'm going to go back. So I think people are enjoying this conversation on Instagram. Let me just share this real quick. 1 second. Let's go live again. Right. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to my story just in a few seconds. Just make sure that I get this thing out there for people. While I'm waiting on this, I just don't want to lose you guys. Let me just read some of the comments here. Powerful. That is where I abuse so much because they assume they now own you, property instead of better helper. That woman becomes one of the man's property. So sad. So sad. Grandiose weddings and dilute marriages. Very productive conversation right here. Materialistic. Us against the world, sure. Pam Okech says powerful conversation. Sue Mungafora says Sangha Appa, words of wisdom. What does that mean? Sangha Hapa. Well, you may know
What
that.
is that?
I don't know what that means.
Songa Hapa means Songa Hapa means come here quickly. I think she's calling a friend. Like come and hear some good stuff here. Yeah.
I'm picking new words right here. I love that.
We'll be bringing you to Kenya very soon, right?
By God's grace. You actually need to give me a name. I need to have a name. I need a Kenyan name.
Let me tell you, and Kenyans will understand. The only name I can give you is either Otieno, Onyango, or Omolo. Pick one. Otieno, Onyango, or Omolo.
Onyango. I like Onyango. What does that mean?
Onyango. Okay, you're Onyango. Now that tribe is the most swaggerific tribe in this country. You know, they're the most educated. You know, the English they speak, even the Queen cannot speak that kind of English.
I love
so
that.
You're Onyango.
I love it. I love that. I love Onyango. I picked the right thing. As a matter of fact, let me just say some kind of vocabulary right now. We need to practice egalitarian marriage. Egalitarian marriage. You know what that means? Relationship equity marriage. Ha! I fit into that.
Onyango
right
has spoken.
Egalitarian marriage. That's what we are preaching about.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Onyango. I love that. I love that. Let me pen that down right now. All right. So, as I was sharing this story of what happened to me a few weeks ago. So I was on the call with this African-American lady, and she was trying to sell a service to me. And at the end of the conversation, she wanted me to make a decision. And I said, I have to speak with my wife. And she was shocked. She said, aren't you from Africa? I said, yes, I'm from Nigeria to be exact. She said she has dated so many African men, so many Nigerian men, that she knows that they make decisions by themselves, that they don't have to talk to their partner. I said, wow. I said, I understand that, but I do things differently. I'm cut with a different cloth. I see things in a different way because I'm a leader of all, not of none. If I am leading somebody, I need to carry them along with the decision making. I don't make important decisions that will affect my family without letting them know about that decision. And I think this happens
absolutely
in marriage, that men all the time feel like, oh, I have to make decisions. I have to make decisions. That they don't even consult their wives on that decision because they don't see that the wife has a voice or the wife has an opinion or an idea that will make sense that they can both use together. So what advice will you give to couples, especially men, who want to just dominate or see themselves that, you know, I have the absolute power. I don't need to speak to my wife about this. I don't need to consult my wife about this. I'm going to make a decision. And then after I'm done making the decision, then I'm going to talk to her about it.
You know, first, allow me just to take a little bit back on that issue. There are two things that happen. Sometimes men don't consult based on a previous experience. And then some it's out of just how they've been brought up, and it's crude and rude. And sometimes men fear to be told they are wrong. And do you know what, Dr. Onyango? Let me tell you something. Sometimes you talk to most men, when they enter into a business deal, all right, and it hits headwinds, they look back and say, but my wife told me not to enter into that deal. And I ignored it. That's now where the tag team comes. Okay, I don't know if you can hear me. There was a freezing on the screen.
Oh, I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, I can. Now, this is where the tag team comes. As a man, you say, okay, fine, I have these deals that are coming, but there's something a woman has. Let me tell you what a woman has, and I'll take you back to the Bible. Jesus was crucified, right? And then he was taken to the tomb. On the third day, the tomb was empty, right? When the men went and saw an empty tomb, they took off thinking the body has been stolen. They were thinking quickly but when a woman came, she sat long enough to meet Jesus. So women take time and get the revelation. Men sometimes react. When a person tells you the deal is worth 1 billion, you say, where do I sign? But when you talk to a woman, she tell you, why is it 1 billion? Why not 500 million? Is there something being used to entice you? Now, every time you bring in another head into the decision making, you are having a wider scope. That is why married men and women are very lucky. They have the privilege of a boardroom decision. Boardroom, the chairman and the secretary to the board, the husband and the wife. You understand what I'm saying? So when you come in together, even the Bible is very clear about two. When you come in together, you fight bigger battles, you see different perspectives. If I make a decision as myself, I am only limited to my thinking. I have a communication within myself. And even if there's a voice telling me no, but if my heart really wants it, I will silence that voice and go ahead with what I want. But if I was married and I talked to my wife, she would say, no, let me give you the reasons as to why I'm saying this. And then when you go there with full confidence that somebody is backing me up. You understand? But also the same applies to women. You get some ladies who now earn much more than the men, and they come with a new car, and the husband says, oh, you bought a new car? Yeah, I could afford it. You know, we have a loan facility in the office, so I could afford it. Why didn't you consult me? She says, no, but I said it is a loan facility from my office, not your office. You have no job, you know? So when you start not consulting each other, especially on some big decisions. I mean, the small ones, like I go to a restaurant and you want to have milkshake, you don't need to call your wife. That is not stupidity. You understand?
Right.
But if there are the big decisions involved, so that there's a feel-good factor within the marriage. You understand? And by the way, let me tell you, Dr. Onyango, the day I get married, be a person of consulting a lot. You know, you consult until your wife tells you, okay, it's okay now. I trust you on that one. You know, it takes time. But and what that does, like that lady the African-American lady you talked, do you know what you talked to? Do you know what happened? She immediately respected you. And she knew. I know some people will talk to you, and I mean, people are crazy out there. A woman may come asking you things, hoping to see if there's a loophole to come and interfere with your marriage because she wants to get with you.
That's true.
But the moment you bring in, oh, no, let me consult my wife, or for a woman, let me consult my husband, you have put a protective measure telling that person, this one is unshakable, is unbreakable. We stand on one side.
Yes, sir.
It's us against the world. You know, my bishop one time did an illustration. It's back to back. I have your back, you have my back, and you are holding hands together. Even when you have such a deep marriage of communication in marriage, even when you're arguing, even when there's a disagreement, guess what will happen? You will fight from the same side.
Yep.
You will be disagreeing, but from the same side, but looking at a devil that is a common enemy.
Come on now. Come on now.
Yeah.
Wow. What you just said right now. Man, guys, if you are just joining us on Facebook, share this right now. This is, tag your friend, tag your husband, tag your wife on these, link them to this. This is a serious discussion that can help shape your relationship into the right way. If you are not married, this will give you the tenets, the principles, the system that you can follow. And when you are approaching a man, when you are approaching a woman, you know what to be looking out for. The value system has to be there. It's very, very important. God was speaking to me one time, and he was saying that, do you know the power that a woman has? And I know I spoke to you guys earlier about the synonymous between a woman and the Holy Spirit, because they are both called the same thing. They are helper, and the Holy Spirit steers you into the right direction, just like a woman will steer you to the right direction because she's the neck. So the neck helps to guide into where direction you want to go. Now, it's quite important what you just said right now about money, business-wise, and how that woman comes to the picture. And that makes me to remember what God spoke to me. He said, do you know that the woman has emotional ability? I said, yes. And oftentimes we look at the emotional ability in a negative way. That women are so emotional and, that is their weakness. No. God made me to understand that this is a sign of strength, because you know what emotions do. Emotions help you to feel something, to sense danger. It helps you to have spirit of discernment. That is applicable to what you said earlier about having a business deal. The man comes in and they offered him $1 million. And he said, all right, where do I sign? And the woman says, well, why is it $1 million? Why not 1.5? Is there something in this deal? She has a feeling. Is there something here that we men, not that we don't have feelings, but our feelings spectrum is lower than what the woman has. So women, they have more better ability. And the only difference here with the emotional feeling and the Holy Spirit is that the Holy Spirit actually knows exactly what is going to happen after that deal. But the woman may not know exactly what is going to happen, but she can feel that, no, there's a danger here.
Yeah.
Don't hang with your friends tonight. Oh, that guy that says he likes you, no, he doesn't actually like you. That is somebody that is evil. Oh, you are trying to go into this business deal. This business deal is going to backfire. And now you went to the business deal, and guess what happened? The business deal didn't go well, and then you get to hear that word from your woman. I told you so. I told you so. So if we want to work towards the same mindset, the same vision, if we're having the same vision, then our minds must align together and consult one another. Because otherwise, there will be a division in that relationship. When your minds don't align together, when you don't have the same vision, when you are not working towards the same thing, you will have what I call a breakdown and a division in that relationship. So it is quite important that we strike this power balance, that we make sure that we work together in unison. Now, I want to share something before we round up. And I know you were telling me this earlier. We're going to shift gear just a little bit. We're still speaking on relationship equity, but there was a question that somebody sent to you, Coach Burale, about being string along. Can you just kind of talk about that question a little bit for our viewers and listeners to kind of pick this up, and then we can address that real quick?
Let me just read it right now. When I put the flyer, this is what she said. I know she's watching, so she said, hello, man of God. How do you know that a man loves the woman? I have tried, but he just is not committing. So I replied and I said, how long have you dated? He says, no, I have known him for 7 years. Seven. They were in a university called Daystar together. 7 years. I'm trying to give all the hints, but he's cold. How does she know the man really is after her?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That is a question that I don't think that question only applied to her alone. That question applies to a lot of women and men as well who are
Yes.
dating, and they cannot identify or tell if the person they are dating truly loves them, or even if they actually truly love the person as well. Or we may even be married and not even sure if my husband or my wife actually truly loves me. Now, I want to say this, and this is very important, and I want everyone to get this. I did a TED talk about a year and some months ago. And the title of my talk says, How to Tell If Someone Truly Loves You. How to tell if someone truly loves you. To my surprise, within 2-3 months, that talk went viral, that over 1 million people watched it. And within a year, it has done about 3.2 million right now, or 3.3 million right now. That is to tell you that this is an issue that is happening globally. As a matter of fact, it's a pandemic issue, if I want to call it, in a relationship that is happening globally. That how can we tell? I'm going to share one with you. And what you can do is you can actually go to that TED Talk on YouTube and just type my name, Femi Ogunjinmi, and you will see that, or how to tell if someone truly loves you. And you can purchase my book online as well on Amazon or Barnes and Nobles, or you can hit me up and we can find a way to get the book to you. And in this book, I share more content, more signs that reveal that someone truly loves you. But let me share this. Sacrifice is a major reason or a major sign that convey that if someone truly loves you. If that person cannot sacrifice for you, then they don't love you. And what is sacrifice? Sacrifice, simply put, it is releasing something that you have right now in an exchange for something that is far more important than what you have. Releasing something in an exchange for something that is far more important, or something that you know that is important. That is what Jesus did. He said, okay, God said, I'm going to sacrifice my son because I want to get these billions of people to the world. I mean, to the kingdom. So Jesus said, all right, I'm going to go into the world. I'm going to sacrifice my life because I love these people. I care about them. So you can see true love demonstrated from Jesus. Now, in real life, I'm not saying somebody got to lay their life for you. Some men will actually say, I'm not going to lay my life for you. Jesus has already done that. So I'm not doing that again. So not literally that you sacrifice by laying your life, but what are you giving up in an exchange for the love of that person? And let me share this story with you. Some of you are just getting familiar with me for a minute, or some of you are probably know my story. Maybe if you are following me, you probably have known my story. And my story that I'm going to share with you in probably in about a minute or two is how I demonstrated sacrifice going into my relationship. Today, you see me as someone who speak on relationship, as someone who help many and millions of people on relationship. But prior to this, I was a playboy. I was a womanizer. I was a guy who was throwing parties. And throwing parties, I'm sure, Coach Burale, you probably understand the party lifestyle. Throwing parties,
of course, yes.
By the life of the party. Everyone wants to associate themselves with you. People want to pop bottles. Ladies want to come and get him for free sometimes, or they just want to say, all right, I know this guy, we're friends or we're cool. So that lifestyle exposed me to a lot of women, dealing with a lot of women. And at this point in time, there was, a woman that came into my life who happens to be my wife today. And she got to the point where she said, look, I'm not going to be part of your groupies. I'm not going to be part of your, shenanigans. So you have to let me know if you want to be in a relationship with me. She had to give me an ultimatum and said, you can either choose to be with me, or you can choose to keep throwing your parties and spending time with all these ladies that you got going on. And guys, listen to this. At that time that I was throwing parties, I wasn't just throwing it just because of the fame or because of the social lifestyle. That was part of it, but I was making money from it as well. I was making money that supplements my other income from my job. So I needed the money, but also the lifestyle. But then I met a woman that said, I don't want to be part of this. You're either going to choose me or you're going to, continue with what you got going on because I cannot be part of this. And God
Yeah.
asked me down and said, dude, you got to analyze the situation. Do you love this woman? Or do you enjoy throwing parties, or do you love throwing parties? Which one do you love over the other? And I said, God, I just enjoy throwing parties. I'm not in love with the party. I'm not going to throw parties forever. But this is the woman that I want to be with for the rest of my life. So I had to make sacrifice. That was a pivotal point for me. I had to sacrifice living party lifestyle, living other women to focus on the woman that I want to be with and spend the rest of my life with. That is sacrifice. So the problem we are having is people don't know how to make sacrifice and make a decision, a long-term decision that makes sense. They are still enjoying something that they are doing at the present moment, that they cannot give up for something that they can enjoy for the rest of their lives. That is why you may see men playing games in their relationship. That's why we see men still, committing infidelity, because they're still enjoying it, but they cannot sacrifice it to stay and be committed with one woman for the rest of their lives. So sacrifice, ladies and gentlemen, is very important. You need to be looking out for this. It's a strong sign. If somebody says, I want to commit, with you for the rest of their lives or not. 7 years with somebody and they cannot make a decision that they're going to spend the rest of their lives with you. Come on now. I mean, I can understand if you guys have been dating from high school. Okay, maybe that's just puppy love. But if you're talking about college and you're done with college and you guys are both working, what are they working towards? What are your goals together? Quite important. Coach Burale, maybe you may want to add something to that may help people.
I think what I'll tell people right now is once you have that inner witness, there is that inner witness that you can't explain, but that is the voice of the Holy Spirit. Once you have that inner witness within you that this is the man or this is the woman I want to spend the rest of my life with, and if it's a godly connection, both of you will have the same feeling. And when deep calleth unto deep, when you connect, you will know this is it. But the lady for 7 years, I told her that is more than a presidential term in this country. You're wasting your time. You will get bitter because the man now will move on and connect to another woman, maybe within 2 months, and he gets married. Mm-hmm. And if there's a man in the same situation and the woman is not playing ball and the woman is still not decided, that woman may meet some other man within 1 month, and in another 3 months they're married, and then you are left very bitter, and then you take your bitterness to another relationship that does not deserve that kind of bitterness. So if you have that inner voice, that settling, that voice of the Holy Spirit that says, this is it, don't waste time. Time waits for no man.
Yeah. And I feel sad for those kind of men that they take a long time to make a decision like this, because they just, one of the reasons why is probably they are not sure that you are the one. So ladies, if it's not sure you are the one, then why are you wasting time with someone who's not sure you are the one? Okay. And another thing that women and men need to understand is, and I'm not advocating for this 100%, because we also need to thread a little bit about it, is to give a soft ultimatum to break the relationship. Because if someone is pulling you along like a string until they find the right person, because men play games like this. They're going to engage with you for so long until they find another woman that they are truly in love with. Just basically what you were saying earlier, that if they find another woman that they are truly in love with, they break up with you, and within 2 months, 3 months, they get married to that woman. But here is what I want you to know. Our breakup is so important to some extent. The reason, especially breaking up with the wrong person. And breaking up can actually be an indirect message to make the guy to sit tight. Here is how it works. Men typically will not fix anything until it is broken. We have the mentality of delaying fixing issue until it is broken. If it's not broken, we still feel like, there is life in this. there is still a little bit of life in this, okay? She's complaining today, she's complaining tomorrow. So tomorrow comes, she's complaining again. Well, she's not breaking up, but that is telling the man, oh, if she's not breaking up, that means she still want to be in this relationship. But once you break up, it's sending a message to him that you no longer tolerate this anymore, and you've already drawn the boundary to it. Then it makes him want to sit tight. Think about this. If you've lived with a man before, especially the women wives that are listening to this, if you ask your husband to fix something in the house, now I'm not saying this is a general statement that happens to every man, but most men are guilty of this. If you ask your man to fix something in the house, maybe a doorknob, and the doorknob is not, tightened very well, it's not well screwed, what happens? That man will probably tell you, all right, I'll fix it tomorrow. You know why he's postponing it? It's because you can still close the door. Even though it is loose, but you can still close the door. Nobody can still penetrate inside the house because there is still a little bit of life in it. But immediately that door no longer closes, guess what? He now moves to action. He now wants to fix it because we are being, trained in a way that you only fix things only when it's broken. So we wait till it is broken before we start to make amends. And that is why, ladies or young women that are listening, if you have broken up in the past, that is probably when the guy is coming back to you and say, oh, I'm sorry for what I did. I'm sorry that I didn't listen to you. Oh, can we get back together again? That happens a lot. Until you break it with them, that is when they can actually sit tight and take you serious. And if it's a wrong relationship, why regret? Why do you need to regret of breaking up that relationship? Because that's another thing that is happening to women. Because you have invested so much time in that relationship, actually you begin to have insecurity of yourself. You begin to think that, who is going to find me attractive? If I break up with this guy, who is going to love me? Oh, I'm not beautiful enough. So it makes you to keep on staying in that relationship, and you are plunging yourself to your misery. You are the one digging your own grave, because eventually what is going to happen is what Coach Burale said. That man is going to love somebody else. He's going to break up with you. And then 3 months later or 4 months later, you're probably going to get an invitation on Facebook and a pop-up message that says, this guy is getting married. And you're all going to be mad. All right. So I'm going to leave it there today. Time is far spent. So I really want to appreciate Coach Burale for all you've said. I don't know if you want to say something else to the listeners and to our viewers this evening.
Thank you very much, Dr. Onyango. That is your new name now. Basically, I want to tell people, ones who are looking into getting into marriage, capture the man in the spirit. Don't look at the man or the woman with the physical eyes. Capture the man in the spirit. See where the man is going. And then also as a man, see the grace that the woman carries. You understand? Let me read something for you. I need to get it. Sorry, I need to get it. There's a friend of mine who put a status something about grace, and I'm trying to get it because it's very, very powerful. Well, I'll try and get it. If I can't get it, I'll read it next time. But see the grace, and then don't go into a relationship to compete. Do not go into a relationship to compete. When you compete, these things happen. There's a football match tonight. It's a competition. There'll be one loser and there'll be a winner. If there is a draw, both teams will have dropped 2 points. So it's a lose-lose situation if you enter into marriage as a competition. Now, what you need to do, you got to enter into marriage as a 4x1 meter relay team. What happens is, I'm starting on that block. You may be ahead of me, but what I'm going to do in the first 100 meters, I will need to give you the baton so that you also start your part at the front line. And then when we win, what happens? We are all at the finishing line, hugging each other. We did different things at different times, but with oneness of purpose, oneness of focus, and everybody celebrates. God bless you.
My goodness. My goodness. Yeah. What a word. What a word from Coach Burale. That is so important. That is so important. Now, I want to just give this message out to everyone. This is a quick announcement. I want to help hundreds of couples, even thousands of couples, achieve relationship equity on June 24th. That is next week, Wednesday. And I want you and I to work together to achieve this. As the founder of National Relationship Equity Day, June 24th has been granted as a national day to celebrate relationship equity. And I want to help as many couples in relationship, how they can both win, strike power balance, become power couple. We want to do this. And I want you and I to do it together. So here is what you can do. First, I'll be posting the badge of National Relationship Equity Day on June 24th on my social media page. And my social media handle is on IG. It is at GFEM Speaks, GFEM Speaks with an S. On Facebook is the same thing as well, just like you guys watching right now. And Twitter at GFEM Radio. Well, I do have a page on Facebook that says GFEM Speaks, but you can go on it or even on the page you are watching me right now on Facebook, that on June 24th, I will be posting this badge, National Relationship Equity Day, on my page. And I want you to take that badge, copy it, and paste it on your page as well with the hashtag National Relationship Equity Day. 2, just in case you chose not to post this badge, what I would expect you to do is please share a picture of you and your partner with the hashtag National Relationship Equity Day. Everyone loves a cute couple's picture anyway. So please share a picture of you and your partner on that day, June 24th, and put a hashtag National Relationship Equity Day. And lastly, which is really important, I want you to switch roles for that day with your partner. Whatever role that has been assigned to a particular gender in your relationship, let the other gender do it that day. The idea is to practice not making an activity a gender role, but your interest, gift, and skill set leading the way. That's one thing that you and I didn't really touch on, because we feel like a role in this relationship has to be a man's role, or this role has to be a woman's role. I must be the one making the money. The woman's role, our part must be in the kitchen. All right. On this day, I want everyone to switch roles. For instance, maybe changing diapers, cooking, making decisions, laying the bed, teaching the kids, bathing the kids, taking them to bed, taking the trash out, washing dishes, fixing something in the house, sweeping the floor, washing the bathroom. So many more. If these are roles played by a particular gender in your relationship, exchange that role that day. Because you know why? By switching these activities, it is not only achieving gender equity in your relationship, it also allows you to see how much effort it takes to do what the other person does for the family. And ultimately makes the other person feel appreciated for being relieved of that particular duty. Perhaps maybe you have any question or suggestion on how you want to partner with us or work with us on achieving relationship equity in marriages. Please, all you can do is write to info@nationalrelationshipequityday.org. info@nationalrelationshipequityday.org. Or better yet, you can just DM me on Instagram at GFEM Speaks, Facebook at GFEM Speaks, or at GFEM Radio, or Twitter at GFEM Radio. But right now, what I want you to do is share this broadcast, share it with your friends, share it on your timeline, share it with your partner. It is time to make this year, 2020, the year of relationship equity. Coach Burale, you are the best. You are
Thank you, my brother.
No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. How can people connect with you?
My page is Israel Robert Burale. I've shared it on my wall as well. On Instagram and Twitter, I'm Burale1. Get in touch with us, inbox us, we'll get back in touch with you. And thank you, my brother. Please pass my regards to your beautiful wife and the children. Tell them I will be seeing them very soon to make for me some nice fufu.
We will definitely make that happen. And my regards to your daughter, man. She's killing it. I'm telling you.
Thank you, man. Thank you, bro.
She's killing it. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget June 24th. It is National Relationship Equity Day. Let's make it count. Spread the word. I am yours truly, Dr. Femi Ogunjinmi, Global Relationship Expert, and Dr. Uyango, right? That's what you call Oyango. Man, I love that name. Man, this is what I'm talking about. Coach Burale,
yeah.
thank you very much. Cheers to your improvement, guys.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
You're welcome. So kind to me. Oh, the unfall, we never ending reckless love. Oh, it chases me, don't fight still, I'm finally starting on tonight. I couldn't do it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the unfall, we never ending reckless love. When it was your fault, you're still the fight. You're still the fight. Yeah. You've been so good. Yeah, so good to me. When my back go to right, you still never miss. You've been so.